So the three pillars are really the pillars that hold up society. On one hand, there's the political pillar, the state, government. There is the economic pillar, markets. And then there is the societal or sociological pillar, communities, people, democracy. And together, these pillars essentially make our society what it is. And what happens when one or two pillars get overly strong is that it creates an imbalance. And that imbalance has to be rectified either by strengthening some other pillar or by weakening the existing pillars. And throughout history, and that's what the book tries to show, we've had serious imbalances emerging either because of dramatic calamity like the Black Death, which was the plague which killed off 1/3 of Europe, or because of scientific or technological advances such as the first or the second industrial revolution. And I argue we're going through something similar today, a technological revolution, which essentially is strengthening markets tremendously, but also strengthening governments at the same time. And what is being left behind is the third pillar, the community. What we're having today is a strengthening of the market pillar. Across the world, we see vibrant markets facilitated by technology. Now, what this does is it requires more from people. It requires people to have better education, higher education, and it leaves a lot of people behind who cannot get that education. Now, where do people get education? In their communities, from strong schools in their communities. And what we're seeing today is that third pillar, the community pillar, is breaking down because when people see that you need a strong education to survive in this world, they want the best education for their kids. They leave the existing communities which cannot provide that education, go to their communities in New York or San Francisco with great schools. But what happens to the communities where they don't have that kind of school? Because the smart kids, the well-prepared kids have left, what is left behind is a less well-to-do community, a community which prepares people less for the future. Why is it that people are angry? Not just because they saw the global financial crisis and they saw that the elite looked after themselves, but also because they feel that the future is less good for their children than it was for them. This is a big change in the world because the history of the last 200 years has always been one of progress. We're now coming face to face with the possibility of regress. I think we need to think deeply about what is going wrong, why the system worked for 60 or 70 years and then stopped working, and how we set it back on track. And that requires fundamental change. It's not about easier monetary policy or a fiscal boost here or a fiscal boost there. It is about fundamentally restructuring the social contract that we have. It's about how we get the services and the activity to the areas where they're disappearing.